Mookie, how's it going?
What's up? Good, good. How you doing?
I'm with Devankar Mukhi. He is a talented student leader at Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan. He runs the Rotaract Club there, and I had the pleasure of speaking at one of his events last week, and there it is. And he is a master promoter. He's a good speaker himself. Um, your major is what, Devankar?
I'm a double major in public health and peace and conflict studies.
Yeah, and you got a bright future. Thanks for having me speak. We're on today to do an event review to talk about what went right and what we might do next time.
hmm
And give everybody a quick thumbnail sketch of what the event was about on Thursday night.
Yeah, so Thursday night we invited Angelo Caruso here to our general club meeting to allow him to teach presentation skills to our club members and give them the professional development that we offer as Rotaract. Rotaract is the collegiate level of Rotary, for those of you who may know, and Rotaract has a big need and big desire to push professional development and community service. So that day we had Michael come out, give some presentation tips, and we had about 25 to 30 people in the room. And today we're going to be talking about, what we exactly went down in that event and a little bit what we can do better next time.
Love it. So there were three components to the meeting. The first was an informational bit at the beginning, which you handled by yourself and did a great
Yep.
job with. There was, I think it's fair to say there was a segment, although it kind of overlapped your informational segment, is that we've got a lot of things going on. We're inviting you to two or three things that are coming up. I thought that was an important part of the event. We call that in the business, what comes next after what comes next. So you're not just bringing them, spending all this time and energy and calories and resources getting them into the room and then leaving them wondering what's happening. That's going to impact your close if you're trying to recruit people, which this event was really about. And then the third piece was the guest speaker piece, which I was glad to handle for you. When we talked initially about how many people you wanted to come to the event, you said 20 or 30, and I asked you a key question.
You asked me pick a number, D,
Yeah, pick a number.
because it's important to fix on one number.
Yeah,
There's
because
a huge,
the difference
there's,
between,
yeah, go, okay, I was going to say there's a huge differential between 30 and 20.
that's right, it's
Yeah,
usually over 20%.
right.
And I like to look at, like most people are looking at a target, I like to look at the bullseye of the target. It's the center of the target. Aim
Mm,
small, miss small. And
mm,
so when you said, and I was glad to hear you say 30, because you could have easily said 20, but it takes just as much energy to market to 30 people as it does to 20.
right.
So let's do 30, which you chose. And you got really close, man. 27, maybe 28
hmm
people.
I did, yeah, close.
And you had a surprise that many, many more people showed interest in the event, but didn't show. You talked about this as an RSVP. And what did we learn about RSVPs?
We learned that RCPs, if you trace it back then, its origin actually means you RSVP if you can't make an event.
That's right. And you're only supposed to reply to as an RSVP if you
Uh-huh.
can't make it. So I think it's far better psychologically to ask people to register and commit in one of several ways. The best way
Right.
of all is to have them spend their money in advance. This is called a financial commitment.
Uh-huh.
Your event was free, so there was no doing that.
Right.
But psychologically commit or psychically commit, or one of my favorites is to assign responsibility where they know they have an active duty at the event. And
Okay.
one thing people really take seriously is that you're going to hand them the microphone for 2, 3, 5 minutes to make an announcement about something they care about. Now, it's not just standing you up if they don't show, they'd be standing themselves up or their own cause.
Right.
And so I think that's a good way to make sure that at least those people show up. Um, we worked with a timeline for this event. Remind me how long you marketed the event.
I started about a week and a half prior to the event.
And looking back, was that enough time?
Well, I think having more time for anything is always great. So if I had more than a week and a half, I think it would have been better. But I think it's important to realize that you should start marketing events with a larger time span.
Yeah, I think so. I usually market to larger groups these days at this stage in my career. And I've come to like, I've got this little success formula for putting at least 100 people in the room. I never really thought about how the numbers jibed, but to get 100 people, you need 100 days.
Mm.
I'm just articulating this for the first time right now. And it's nothing that logical that it's one person per day or anything like that. It just seems like it takes about 3 months to get the campaign going. The campaign is based on a number of touches, or what they call in the advertising business, the impressions. And so if McDonald's needs 7.5 impressions to sell you an Egg McMuffin, and you're no better at marketing than McDonald's, you're going to need at least 7.5 impressions, probably closer to 10, to get people to come to your event. Now, a touch or an impression can be anything from, in the early stages of the campaign, hey, save the date, y'all.
Yeah.
And just tell them the date. 2, here's the link for registration, or here's the link for more information. And you can go with different versions of the touch. It can be long copy versus short copy. It can have a graphic or a JPEG, or it can just be straight verbiage. It can be a video, or it can be no trickery at all, no AV at all. So there's a million ways that you can get inside people's heads. And when you have a long campaign like that, you have a chance to do an iterative messaging campaign. So you're getting them the same message in different format over and over and over again. And the common mistake you see with this is people will send out the exact same email that they sent you a week ago. I mean, they haven't changed the subject line. Another common technique that doesn't work is they send the same email, but they change the subject line to all caps and say last chance. Remember, when you're selling somebody something, and you were pretty good at this, you sell them based on what they will get from the program, not the fact that you need a head count. So in this case, we were teaching them how to become better presenters, right? The first thing I did was change the title. I said, let's not teach them how to be better presenters, although that's a nice thing to teach somebody. Let's teach them how to ace their classes, because that was a much more outcome-based deliverable. They're much more interested in acing their classes than they are in becoming better presenters. And this is known as what's in it for me, or WIFM. People talk about it like a radio station, WIFM. In this case, it's what's in it for them. And that's how I try to approach copy. You produced a single, I think it was a single marketing mechanism, which was the graphic, right? The flyer that you did?
I did, yeah.
I don't know if you actually printed it even in a flyer format, did you?
I did print it, and we passed them out at an event that we had the week before, actually.
Okay, very good. But you passed them out physically to how many people?
I would say maybe 20.
Okay. And then you showed the flyer as a JPEG or as a graphic online on social.
And our email. Yep.
And an email. And how many people saw that?
Well, I can tell you from our emailing newsletter, we sent that at least, I would say, 3 times out in that week and a half. And in that, week and a half, I would say maybe 200 or 300 people saw it.
Yeah, that's 10 times as many people.
Yeah.
And that's pretty common. So if you're dealing with like older people these days, they say, well, we should do a flyer, but it's Flintstone because the flyer has to be physically handed or has to be posted on a wall, and you never even know how many people see it.
Exactly.
And you don't have to do it. It's not mutually exclusive. You can do the printed flyer if that's what you think is going to work, but you're going to get far more eyeballs on it and impressions when you can use that same flyer as a PDF or as a JPEG in social or in email, and you handled it well.
Do both.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, your flyer was straight language and verbiage. I thought it maybe should have had a photo of your guest speaker. I always feel bad about asking that because it makes it sound like I'm egocentric or something, like I want my photo on it.
Right.
But the truth is, if your guest speaker is photogenic, or let's say he's not photogenic, Fleetwood Mac is in the news right now, the band, because they've got drama, as they've always had through the years. And very few members of the band are actually photogenic. Mick Fleetwood, the drummer, is not a very attractive person, but he's unique. And depending on how he's photographed, because he's so tall and gangly, it can be a striking pose. And so if you have that kind of a photograph, you want to use it to your advantage, because in all of the noise that you have to cut through, people, pulling up Facebook message, they stop on that one and go, who's this dorky looking dude? Or who's this chap? Mick Fleetwood is British, right? So he's a chap.
Mm.
If you have those kind of photos, it works. If a photo's worth 1,000 words, how much is a video worth?
More than 1,000.
Million or whatever. And so to have a good video, now the common mistake is any video is better than a photograph, and that's just not true. If it's not good quality video, if it's the wrong length. I just got back from speaking in England, Devankar, and they used a promo video that they asked me to record. I didn't know they were going to dump my little 30-second bit into a 12-minute promotional video.
Wow.
But it's hard to really be good for 12 minutes in a video. It's hard to get people to watch an entire 12-minute video.
Right.
And I'm going to have a similar event review with my host, who, by the way, did a magnificent job. But I'm going to have to tell him, because I know I can see YouTube and how many views it got. And I'm going to have to tell him the video's too long. Shorten it the next time you do it. So we're all learning from these types of debriefs. I loved how you promoted this event. I think you're brilliant at what you do. And I think if you even change one or two things in your next event, you're going to be on your way to an even stronger situation.
Mm-hmm. I guess a question to you is, like, not every speaker might be as dynamic as you, because other people have other things that they're experts at. Yeah. Speaking, maybe not be an expert of theirs, but they still have something to say. They have still something to share. So when I'm bringing in other speakers for future meetings, one of the things I definitely do is market it early. But how do I maybe create an appeal or attraction that people will want to come to, because not every speaker, I could say, maybe has public speaking skills to take away. It could be something about this, could be something about that. I guess what my question to you is how to make every person sound appealing, which is hard.
I appreciate the compliment. And on my way to answering it, I'll share this with you too. Most speakers aren't interested in helping you promote your event.
Yeah.
I mean, they wouldn't even do it to promote themselves. Even if you tag them, they won't share the damn post.
Right.
I don't know why. Because I like to know that whoever's hired me is promoting, and I like to tell everybody that I'm speaking at Wayne State. It's my alma mater. I got a lot of mileage out of telling people about your event.
I'm glad.
So I don't know why most speakers don't do this, but please don't be disappointed when my brethren don't deliver in the same way I did. They're certainly not going to help you promote it or get on with you afterward to talk with you about how it went. They're just not for the next big thing or whatever. I think the key always is a value proposition. You've got to get a speaker who is interesting or intriguing or provocative or relevant or timely. Like the other day, we so it goes back a few months now, but we asked a local police officer to come to our club, our Troy Rotary Club, to talk about what to do in the case of an active shooter situation. And the week before he was supposed to come to the club, we didn't know this was going to happen. They had the Las Vegas incident where the guy's like in the building shooting down at the concert, the Jason Aldean concert, and picking people off like fish in a barrel. And the timing of this guy coming to the club was magnificent. I mean, we had almost 80 or 100 people there, and we normally have less than 50. So it was just the right timing for a guy like that to be there. It's really nice when that works out. It's almost like kismet, because it's just like perfect synchronicity, as the police used to say in their song. But aside from that, you also have to stay clear of incendiary topics like politics, or things that would actually keep people away because they're too sensitive. Now, you're in a college campus, so there's almost no such thing as something that's too sensitive. But try to keep it relevant and try to make it outcome-based and try to make it so that the people that would come, tell them exactly why they need to come. Most event planners say, well, you should come to our event. It's going to be fun. Or we have a guest speaker, or we have cookies. And none of that is outcome based. You know, if someone's going to spend over an hour with you, you've got to make it worth their while. What would make it worth their while to attend? And if you make that reason undeniable, your attendance will be a lot higher than it would be otherwise.
Outcome based, definitely. I think that's a focus
for them.
Right.
For them, yeah. So anyway, I look forward to doing more with you. Congratulations. Let's tell everybody how they can get to your WSU Rotaract Club online.
Yeah, you can get us on Facebook. We're facebook.com/WSU ROTARACT Rotaract. Like us on Facebook. And if you're interested in being a speaker for us, we're always looking for, as Michael just said, interesting individuals who are relevant or timely. If you have a story to share, if you have something you want to just share with anyone who's 18 to 30 years old, please come on, email us. Email us at Wayne State Rotaract at wayne.edu. And then our Instagram page is just Wayne State Rotaract, all spelled out. So we're always constantly posting speakers, pictures of our events, and constantly working in the Detroit community. And you can also give a huge thank you and a huge follow to the Rotary Club of Detroit, who is our parent Rotary Club and supports and sponsors our Wayne State Rotaract Club.
Yeah, it was nice to see so many of the Detroit Rotarians there at your event supporting.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, brother. We've done our best to help educate people on how they can use these strategies and techniques to get people to their events, whether they're Rotary related or otherwise. All of this stuff is based in human psychology. If your audience is human, it will work.
Yeah, let's hope.
We'll see you next time.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Michael. As always, appreciate it.
See you, brother.